Okay, a couple of news stories came across my desk this week that I thought was at least worth talking about, and I'm going to start with the one that surprised me the most because I have seen a lot of articles and stories over the last couple of years about the dip or drop in opioid prescription writing for dentists, and maybe if we're lucky, Tom Viola might respond to this story to give us a little feedback. And if you'll recall, when the opioid crisis started a couple decades ago now, over. Um, they cited dentists as one of the main problems. Dentists were writing an inordinate number of opioid prescriptions in the U.S., and that we were likely a big part of the cause. And if you're a dentist in the U.S. now, you probably have a laundry list of requirements that you have to fulfill on an annual basis in order to continue to be able to write any amount of opioid prescriptions for the year. We take additional CE classes specifically just for opioid writing. Well, there was an article that came out, a study that was released on JAMA Network Open, which I'm not 100% sure how that's different from JAMA itself. The research was conducted. It looked at dental opioid prescriptions across US, Puerto Rico, Canada, France, Australia, Germany, and the Netherlands. Now, first off, the US is still the number one prescriber of opioids. I think Canada was kind of a close second. Um, in a positive light, from 2021 to 2024, the US fell 27% in its opioid prescription writing, 10% in Puerto Rico. Larger declines did occur in Canada, France, Australia, and Germany. While that's all really positive, the US still was holding that top spot for the most. For instance, they noted that in the Netherlands in 2024, just 83 prescriptions were written per 100,000 residents. And in the US, it's roughly 24 times higher at about 2,000 prescriptions per 100,000. Now, here's where I got a little bummed. It stated that the US dentists are still the highest prescribers in the US. I really thought we had gone down. And we had, he noted, the author of the article noted that we have dropped 45% in our prescription writing from 2016 to 2022. That's a pretty big movement. I mean, I know personally, I might write one a year for a very unique situation, but I wasn't prolifically writing them before. I didn't think quite as much about it. But now you have to have a pretty good case for me to write a prescription for an opioid. But even at that reduced rate, we're writing it 4 times more than the UK and other countries. And we're still the number one provider, I think, of opioid prescriptions in the US. So they're still noting that we're overprescribing. We'll see where this story goes. We'll see where they take this particular data. Probably means more requirements will come our way in order to continue to get the number down. But while we're making the right progress, at least we're still seeing that there's a significant number of opioid prescriptions still coming out of the dental community. An interesting story. We kind of talked about the story actually a while back. It was last year. There was an imposter dentist who then hired a hitman to go kill a patient who complained about their work. Well, they have been arrested and now face trial for up to 25 years in prison for this hitman. This dentist was alleging they were a dentist. They weren't really a dentist. They were performing a dental procedure. There was a mom who was getting the service. The son was filming the service, which had evidence that an unlicensed dentist was providing dentistry. When things didn't go well and he wanted his money back, the dentist denied reimbursement. The non-dentist dentist denied reimbursement. The son of the mother said she had it on film, so he was gonna take it to authorities. So then the non-dentist dentist decided to solve this problem by hiring a hitman. I mean, the number of wrongs in the story, it's like they were wrong, like everybody's wrong in this story. Unfortunately, one person is dead and a couple people are going to go to jail. And that poor lady still had really terrible dentistry done. And I don't think she ever got that fixed. So really no winners in that particular story. A last news item for this evening, And this is near and dear to our hearts because we had an Olympian on our show just a couple of weeks ago. If you didn't check that out, we had Dr. Tara Peterson from our U.S. curling team came on the pod. Great, great episode. We had a blast with her. So if you feel a compassion towards our Olympic and Paralympic athletes, the ADA is working with the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee, looking for volunteer dentists to provide free basic dental care to eligible athletes. If you live in the following areas: Colorado Springs, Lake Placid, and upstate New York, Charlotte, North Carolina, Salt Lake City, Park City, and Provo, Utah, Miami and other Florida locations, Atlanta, San Diego, Los Angeles, Dallas, Austin, and Houston, Texas, they are looking for you. They're looking for oral and maxillofacial surgeons, orthodontists, and endodontists, as well as general dentists. Experience in sports medicine would be helpful, but not a requirement. Now, a lot of times these athletes are spending a lot of their resources paying for training, their coaches, etc., to be able to continue their journey and need additional help with their care. Tara also mentioned that when athletes were traveling, especially from non-US countries, they would specifically wait to get dental care provided to them in the Olympic Village because there was a dentist on site there that could provide them services while they were in the Olympic Village. So this is just part of the journey for supporting our U.S. Olympic team. If you're interested, go to the ADA website. Under ADA News, they have more information if you search Olympic and Paralympic and join their volunteer network. I got to tell you, it sounds kind of interesting to me. And with that, that's the news.